benefit of our audience, can you tell us what a principle is?
A principle is a rule of conduct. All principles are contextual. In other words, you have to apply them in the real world. And in the real world, you don't have magic formulas, okay? There are always context. Let me give you an example.
Okay, let me ask you a question about principle. So a principle integrates the relevant facts and gives you a rule that's clear that in these kinds of situations you should do X, and in these other kinds of situations you should do Y. And if it doesn't do that, if you say, well, there's a lot of different principles and a lot of different factors, you don't have a principle, right?
What I'm saying is this. No, I'm saying.
Is that correct or not?
I'm saying that you misunderstand what a principle is.
No, a principle gives you guidance to know what to do. And if it doesn't tell you what to do in this circumstance and the other circumstance, it's not working.
No, I'm saying you misunderstand a principle. Let me explain. And again, it might just be we have a fundamental disagreement. Every decision in life is a judgment call. Okay?
So why do you need principles?
Because
if the principle doesn't tell you what to do.
You're making your judgment calls based on principles and based on the facts at hand.
You're following a principle, right? The
Again, you have a misunderstanding about what a principle is. It's not a magic formula. It's not a magic formula.
Is it a rule that tells you what to do in this situation and tell you what not to do in the other situation?
It is not a magic formula. That's all I can say. Is too many libertarians have the notion that somehow, and some objectivists, that it's a magic formula. You always are going to have judgment involved. You're going to say, this is a principle, let's say initiation of force, okay? We both agree that initiating the use of force and fraud is wrong,
right?
And that gives you an
that's in a certain context. I agree, and that's in a certain context. And the context is very clear. The context is an international world of countries.
Well, no, let's talk about let's talk about in an alleyway. You're walking down an alleyway, and you're not quite sure whether those guys are going to attack you or not.
Right.
You got to make a judgment call. Your life is depending on it.
Right.
It might well be that these are simply people coming home from a church meeting.
Right.
Okay? Or it might be the people who basically want to beat the hell out of you and kill you.
Right. And what does your principles tell you to do?
Wait a minute. Here's the thing.
What's your principle and what would you do?
What I'm telling you is you're going to have to make a judgment call. You know what the principle is, but you don't have the specific knowledge to plug it in to make a decision that is irrevocably good or bad.
Is your principle self-defense or not?
Principle self-defense. But what I'm saying is this. You do not know. One of the problems is
you can make a mistake and if you don't know the facts. That's a different issue.
No, it isn't a different issue.
Of course it is.
The issue. The issue is this. Let me explain again. If somebody is clearly pulling a gun, assuming that...
Yeah, you think even if you make a mistake...
Right, okay, that's a pretty clear thing. Now, it might just be that they're not pulling the gun to do you, they're pulling it because I was going to show my friend over here my new gun, and I mistake that I thought you were drawing the gun to shoot me out of that. Okay.
That's an understandable mistake.
What I'm saying, that's an understandable mistake, okay?
But it's a mistake of your evaluation of the facts.
What I'm saying is this, that in something like international politics, we have certain fundamental principles that I've discussed: self-defense, harboring terrorists, cooperating with the United States or not. Okay, but what I'm saying is this: what I'm saying
is the principle. If they don't cooperate, then we can attack them.
No, cooperating with the United States if they're harboring terrorists. And again, if a government says we don't like the terrorists, either can you come and help us get rid of them? That's one thing. If they
say different situation. That's not what Pakistan did.
The Pakistanis have been working with us. Some of the government have been working with us to go in and root out the bad guys.
They left Bin Laden.
Wait a minute. Wait. Who are they? Who are they? This is the problem.
As you said,
who are they?
Some people in the government obviously knew.
And some people in the government have actually been helping us, and the military has been working with us to root them out.
The guy who ratted Bin Laden has been prosecuted by the Pakistani government.
That's right.
So that tells you what they think.
What I'm saying is this: is that the whole way of thinking. I'm not saying they're not. And by the way, I'm not saying that there aren't decisions you're going to have to make. What I'm saying is those decisions are always going to be in a context. And what I'm saying is a lot of libertarians are uncomfortable with the notion that you can't have perfect knowledge, that you're always going to have to be making judgment calls, that honest people might disagree about those judgment calls, and that's all I'm saying.
Oh, no, I don't disagree with that at all. Of course, people can have disagreements. The issue is whether The issue is whether you need a clear principle. You need a clear principle that tells you what to do in this situation and what to do in another situation. And self-defense is such a principle.
Self-defense is one of the
and it
principles.
works on a. But you say it's one of them.
That's right.
But as you said that the other one was harboring terrorists. But then you didn't want to apply it to Pakistan.
But the thing is, I'm saying that I judge the Pakistani government in a certain way. Okay.